Sir, hello? What happened, ma? Girls,
Ma'am, some of them are waiting, ma'am. That's why sir stopped.
okay.
Okay, Madam will join, Amma. Don't worry. So this that's why our bacteria, our blue-green alga is the primitive alga. So these blue-green algae are cyanophyceae. They are in between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So our blue-green alga is inserted or present in between pro and prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So we are observed. So at the same time, our blue green algae related to algae, but that very closely related to bacteria. That's why the blue green alga we can call as cyanobacteria. So the cyanobacteria mainly microscopic organisms. These cyanophyceae members are blue green alga grown in all types of the environment. The habitat of these blue green algae we are found in marine sediments and pelagic zones, even though freshwater lakes and soils. So these all type of environment is suitable for the growing of this cyanobacteria. Okay, and at the same time, this cyanobacteria can grow in extreme environments like chemically very high acidic environment, at the same time high temperature regions like hot springs more than 80 degrees Celsius environment is also suitable, also able to grow these cyanophyceae members. Okay, then what are the importance about this blue green algae? The first organism. So our blue green algae is the first organism. We know that to have two photosystems and to produce organic material and give of oxygen as a byproduct. So first oxygen evolved or released by these cyanophyceae members only. So that is the first important point. So oxygen, without oxygen, so there are no lives or exist in the primitive earth. So our earth is exist after the produce of this oxygen, only life forms are exist on this earth, my dear friends. And my dear friends, the very important of the evolution of the earth is oxidizing atmosphere. The atmosphere is going to oxidized by this blue green algae members only. The second important point is these blue green algae can able to fixation of the nitrogen from the atmospheric molecular nitrogen is going to modify or fixation in the soil or different life forms. So the molecular nitrogen or atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the ions related to nitrogen ions, that is usable forms of the nitrogen, that is the ammonia, nitrates and nitrates. These are the usable forms of the plants. So that is the second most important of this blue green algae. So the important, because this atmospheric nitrogen is unavailable in most living organisms, because breaking the triple bond is difficult. So you observed in this slide, Amma, this nitrogen is here now. Both nitrogen, two molecular nitrogen, molecular nitrogen. See here. So one nitrogen and another nitrogen atmosphere atoms. So between these two nitrogen, 3 hydrogen bonds are there. So these are the covalent bonds. These 3 bonds are very, very tough or difficult to break down by the normal living organism. Only this triple bond is able to break down by the enzyme, nitrogenase enzyme. This nitrogenase enzyme is only present this blue green algae along with some of the bacteria also. So prokaryotic living organism, bacteria and blue green alga is present this nitrogenase enzyme for breaking the hydrogen bonds between 2 nitrogen atoms. So this molecular nitrogen this molecular nitrogen is not usable form of the for the utilization of the nutrients or nitrogen nutrients. So that's why our blue-green algae is able to break down or break these triple bond between two nitrogen atoms. So that is the second important point. Then what are the pigments are related to the cyanobacteria? Are you heard about the term pigments, Amma? Which type of pigments are present in blue-green algae, or algae consist in which type of pigments, or pigments are present on which cell organelles? Are you heard about the term pigments?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are the uses of this pigment? What are the function of these pigments? Pigments. So generally pigments are present. These pigments are present on the thylakoids. Thylakoids in chloroplast. So chloroplast contain thylakoids, membranous structure.
Sir,
Amma cheppandi.
your screen is not visible, sir.
Oh, sorry, Amma. Sorry.
Just now it gone, sir.
Okay, I will show. Okay, this is visible?
No, sir.
Amma? No?
No, sir.
One second. Why it happens, Amma?
No, okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now?
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Right, Amma. Okay, very good. So these pigments are present on the thylakoid membrane, on the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast, my dear friends. So chloroplast contain thylakoid membranes. The group of thylakoids we can call as grana or fret membrane, So this grana thylakoid membrane consists of different pigments. There are chlorophyll pigments, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and other accessory pigments like carotenoids and phycobilins. These are some of the pigments, So these pigments are only present on the thylakoid membrane, my dear friends. Okay, so these pigments are mainly useful for chlorophylls are mainly useful for the conversion of the photo or light energy, the conversion of the light energy into chemical energy. So that's why chlorophylls are useful for the photosynthesis. That is the most and important biochemical processes are for physiological activities or physiological process. So these type of reactions or physiological reactions are mainly by these chlorophyll pigments. Along with these chlorophylls, are you heard about the term chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B.
Yes, sir.
What is the formula of chlorophyll A, Amma? Anybody? What is the formula of chlorophyll A? You know that each chlorophyll also present formulas. Chlorophyll A formula C55 H72 O5 N4 Mg. So this is the formula of the chlorophyll A. Then another person is asking me, another student is, sir, even the chlorophyll B also formula, sir? Yes, chlorophyll B also formula. That is C55 H7T O6 N4 Mg. So this is the formula of the chlorophyll B. So chlorophyll A formula C55 H72 O5 N4 Mg. and chlorophyll B formula C55H70O6N4Mg. So what is the difference between these two formulas, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B? This slide is visible. So only observe the small differences between hydrogen and oxygen. Is it right or not?
Yes,
So
sir.
chlorophyll A in hydrogen atoms or hydrogens are 72. Chlorophyll B consists only 70. And chlorophyll A
Sir?
consists oxygen.
It is not visible,
Yes, Amma.
sir.
సమ్ డిస్టర్బెన్సెస్ సార్, ఎవరు వాళ్ళ స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేస్తున్నారు, మీ స్క్రీన్ కనిపించట్లేదు.
Amma,
Geeta,
please don't. Okay, I will share once again, Amma.
Geeta, stop Jenny sharing.
Amma, are you feel bored?
No,
sir.
Are you feel okay? Then chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B formula. The small differences between the hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms, So only H72O5 present in chlorophyll A, in chlorophyll B H70O6. These are the small difference between chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So any photosynthetic activity or any photosynthetic process as done by all green plants consist chlorophyll A. So chlorophyll A act as a reaction center. Chlorophyll A act as a reaction center. Okay. Chlorophyll A act as a antenna, Antenna. Are you heard about the term antenna? Receiving of the signals from the different areas, So chlorophyll A is also act as antenna for absorbing of the sunlight from the visual spectrum. Are you know about the visual spectrum? Visual spectrum. Some 400 to 700 nanometers consist of this visual spectrum. The color, 7 colors of the VIBGR. So VIBGR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So these are the 7 colors are present on this visual spectrum. In the 7 colors, the chlorophyll A, the chlorophyll A or chlorophyll B from 400 to 700 nanometer wavelength, thus wavelength range of this light is absorbed by this chlorophyll A. Is it right or not? Amma, I'm asking why all green plants or leaves looks like a green color? Anybody can tell?
Because chlorophyll is
So
present.
chlorophyll is present or chloroplasts are present. So chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B absorb which light, Amma? Green light or yellow light or red light or white light, whatever?
Green light, sir. Green light.
No, Amma. So, my dear friends, here what we observe, Amma, from visual spectrum or from the solar sunlight or solar ray, these chlorophylls or leaves are absorbed only red light, my dear friends. Red light. So red light is more useful for photosynthesis. Why these leaves are looks like a green color? So green color is reflected from the plants, from the inside to out, inside to out. Is it right? So that's why leaves looks like a green color, not absorbed by the green light. Only absorb red light, my dear friends. Remember. So leaves looks like a green color. Why? This green color reflect from outside to in. Okay. Is it right? Sorry. Inside to out. From internal to out, external environment, the green color reflects. So that's why these leaves looks a green color. Is it right? Then here what we observed, Amma, in this slide, our blue-green algae consists chlorophyll A, not B, my dear friends. Not B. Chlorophyll A and B present only chlorophyll members and all higher plants. All higher plants only. Here, along with this chlorophyll A, phycobiliproteins are present. Phycobiliproteins are present in cyanobacteria. My dear friends, these phycobilins are the most important proteins, important pigments in blue-green algae. So just because of these phycobilins, our blue-green algae termed as blue-green. Why? Because they looks like a blue color. That's why the main reason for this color is phycobiliproteins. The phycobilins are classified into three types. These phycobiliproteins are divided into three types. Okay, what are they? Phycobilins are classified into three types. What are they? Number one, phycoerythrin. Number two, phycocyanin. Number three, allophycocyanin. So here in this slide, we have so phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, allophycocyanin. These are the three pigments are present in phycobiliproteins. My dear friends, these phycobilins are present inside the sac-like structure, that is phycobilisomes. These phycobilins only consist rhodophyceae and cyanophyceae members only. Only blue-green algae and rhodophyceae algae consist these phycobiliproteins. Remaining algae or higher plants does not possess these phycobiliproteins. So that's why our cyanophyceae members looks like a blue-green in color. Looks like a blue-green in color. Number one, these phycobilins are number one, phycoerythrin, number two, phycocyanin, and number three, allophycocyanin. So these cyanophyceae members are blue-green color, responsible for, my dear friends, phycocyanin. Especially these phycocyanin are responsible for this blue-green color. So especially these phycocyanin R and phycocyanin C. So these are the two pigments are responsible for this blue-green in color of our blue-green algae or cyanophyceae members. And what are the storage food material? What is the storage food material inside the cytoplasm? Mainly glycogen. Glycogen is a starch, you know. Glycogen is a starch. Glycogen. Along with this glycogen, cyanophycean starch and cyanophyceous protein granules also present in the cytoplasm of these blue-green algae members. And this blue-green algae member cell wall made up of, actually cell wall is made up of cellulose. Along with the cellulose is a complex sugar, you know. Cellulose is a complex sugar, nothing but complex sugars. So the complex carbohydrate. At the same time, amino acids also present in this blue-green algae cell wall. Blue-green algae cell wall, amino acids. Along with this sugars, these blue-green algae consist amino acids. Cell wall consists amino acids. And these blue-green algae forms, whether the unicellular or multicellular or colonies, and some of the filamentous forms also we are observed. So unicellular. So this is the unicellular form. So unicellular means only mucineginous envelope, only one cell is present, only one cell. Some colonies. So you observe this, some of the colonies, a group of cells are arranged here. So these are the colonies. And my dear friends, most of the blue-green algae, they are in filamentous structure. The thallus is a filamentous structure. Amma, are you heard about the thallus? What is the meaning of this thallus, Amma? Can you define thallus? Thallus is nothing but does not differentiate. The plant body does not differentiate root, stem, leaf. Root to shoot, leaf does not differentiate root to shoot, leaves. Only the plant shows without having any roots and shoots and leaf. Only that body, that plant body, we can call as thallus. So our blue-green algae thallus is a filamentous in nature. Filamentous in nature. In this filament, the cells are arranged in a uniseriate manner. The cells are arranged uniseriate. The cells are arranged uniseriate. Cells are arranged uniseriate. Okay, now it is visible, Amma? It is visible? Yeah, filamentous are uniseriate. In a single row, these cells are arranged in a beaded-like structure. Some of the organisms, they are multiseriate, but not true branching. So these uniseriate or multiseriate filamentous, they are branching or unbranched filamentous are observed in this blue-green algae. So branching or unbranching. If they are branching, the branching filaments are also again divided into true branching and false branching. Okay, when trichome are single in row or one single row or one row, the filament shows branching. So whether the branches are true branching or false branching. So this is a filamentous structure. This filamentous structure is arranged in a single or uniseriate cells are arranged here. This structure filamentous is surrounded by mucilaginous sheath. So this is mucilaginous sheath. This is mucilaginous sheath. So this is mucilaginous sheath. This mucilaginous sheath surrounded on the filament. So that's why these trichome or this filament we can call as trichome. This trichome, when we are touching this trichome, it is a gelatinous. It is a gelatinous in nature. Okay, it is a slime in nature. Slime in nature, just because of this mucilaginous sheath. This mucilaginous sheath contain a special type of chemical component, that is chitin, that is pectin, my dear friends, pectin. So this is pectin. Whenever this pectin is going to dissolve with the water or touch the water, then automatically the pectin is going to a mucilaginous sheath or mucilaginous layer. It is a the gelatinous nature. When we are touching it, is a gelatinous or slimy nature. Then this mucilaginous sheath. What is the main function of this mucilaginous sheath? The main function of this mucilaginous sheath is this is protecting from the external environment. This is protecting from the high temperature. This is protecting from the dry conditions. And my dear friends, this mucilaginous is mainly involved in the gliding movements. Gliding movements. Okay, that is gliding movements means this trichome is not having this filament does not contain any motile parts, motile forms like pseudopodia or cilia, or even though flagellas also. So flagella, cilia, other motile parts are absent in this blue-green alga, my dear friends. So that's why this mucilaginous sheath is able to helping for movement, gliding movements. Okay, that is slippery movements. Gliding movements is also we can call it slippery movements or looping movements. So looping movements or gliding movements are caused by this mucilaginous sheath. And also, my dear friend, this mucilaginous sheath also often shows a different color. Whenever the blue-green alga members or life forms are grown in different nature of the soil, acidic nature or basic nature, even though high salinity conditions nature, the mucilaginous sheaths shows in different colors. Whether the blue-green alga grown in acidic condition, the mucilaginous sheath looks like a red in color. So red color mucilaginous sheath are here. Sheaths are present on the surface of the trichome. At the same time, this filament shows a blue color whenever the blue-green algae grown in basic nature. And my dear friends, the high salinity nature conditions, these blue-green algae grown, this mucilaginous sheath looks like a yellow-brown in color. So this coloration, we are identified whether the area, whether the environment, whether the acidic environment or a basic environment or a high salinity environment, we are observed with the naked eye by the observer of this external feature of this trichome. Whether the mucilagin is red in color, whether the mucilagin is in blue color or yellow color, just because of this environment. And what are the features are observed in the trichome or filament? So one of the most important term, that is heterocyst. So heterocyst is a thick-walled cell and a hollow space inside the cell, and also it is compared to normal vegetative cells, it is larger size. Compared to vegetative cells or normal cells, heterocyst cells are in larger size within the among the vegetative cells, my dear friends. And what is the main function of this heterocyst? The main function of this heterocyst is to fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen in the atmospheric nitrogen, or conversion of the atmospheric nitrogen into heterocyst. The fixation of the nitrogen from atmosphere by the use of nitrogenase an enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme. So nitrogenase enzyme present in the heterocyst. So this heterocyst able to fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen into usable forms of the nitrogen. So in the anaerobic conditions. So this is the Anabaena living organism. This Anabaena filament more than 10 micron in range, and the heterocyst also present among the vegetative cells, and these are the vegetative cells are beaded in this filament and surrounded by mucilaginous sheath. So this is called trichome. So Anabaena is a filamentous form and present heterocyst among the vegetative cells, and this heterocyst may be in the center part of the trichome, that is intercalary heterocyst. Whether the heterocyst present in the terminal heterocyst or basal heterocyst also present in this Anabaena. So terminal heterocysts are present or basal heterocyst or among the cells, and in between the center part of the filament we can also call as intercalary heterocyst. The main function of heterocyst is to conversion of the atmospheric nitrogen into usable form of the nitrogen for all living organs. And the habitat we know that these are is able to grow in marine conditions or in this marine, whether the littoral or pelagic condition. Pelagic means the beneath on the complete soil or surface of the water surface of the oceanic condition. At the same time, the complete in-depth zone, that is a pelagic zone. So this zone is able to grow on of this blue-green algae. So mainly the blue-green alga has grown on the surface of the water like a planktons, phytoplanktons. These phytoplanktons does not contain any motile parts of the organism, and also this is free floating on the surface of the oceanic environment, and which is also useful for the feed of the different aquatic fauna or animals of the oceanic environment. And these blue-green algae are also able to grow in freshwater also, and hot springs and terrestrial environment also. Terrestrial means soil flora. These heterocysts are, we are already discussed, these are the larger compared to vegetative cells, and hollow space in the in the cell, and thick-walled cell are compared to larger compared to vegetative cells, and this is not having any chlorophylls, pigments. So this is mainly useful for the fixation of the nitrogen. So does not produce the food material. Why? Because lacking of these photosynthetic pigments or chlorophyll or phycobilioproteins. So these pigments are not present in this heterocyst cell. So this heterocyst cell does not contain these pigments, and by this no fixation of the carbon dioxide or oxygen evolution are in the heterocyst. So formation of the heterocyst triggered by molybdenum and low nitrogen. So whenever the environment is having the habitat is contain high amount of this molybdenum content, molybdenum nutrients, and low nitrogen content, is able to trigger or induce the formation of this heterocyst among the vegetative cells of the trichome or filament of the nostoc Anabaena cells. Okay, and this nitrogen is the limiting nutrient necessary for the production of amino acids. So these amino acids are building blocks of the life, So that's why in this heterocyst, nitrogen is the limiting factor. So without nitrogen, the heterocyst very actively participated in the conversion of the atmospheric nitrogen into soil or different living organism. So nitrogen fixation only able to fixation by the prokaryotic living organism, not eukaryotes. Not all higher plants or higher eukaryotic organism does not contain the mechanism of this fixation mechanism nitrogen. So the atmospheric nitrogen fixation mechanism only consists prokaryotic living organism like blue-green algae and bacteria. So these blue-green algae and bacteria fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen by the involving of this enzyme, that is nitrogenase enzyme. So nitrogenase enzyme responsible for the fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen into soil. So this nitrogenase enzyme only present prokaryotic living organism, does not contain eukaryotic living organism or higher plants. Okay, so the mechanism to separate nitrogenase from oxygen. So whenever oxygen is present, the nitrogen is in off mode. So nitrogenase enzyme is only activate without oxygen. If oxygen is present or aerobic conditions are occurred, nitrogenase is enzyme in inactive mode. So oxygen is very, very limiting factor for the fixation of the nitrogen in the heterocyst by the nitrogenase. So whenever oxygen is present, the heterocyst not able to fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen. So oxygen is not present, this nitrogenase enzyme is very, very active for the fixation of the nitrogen from the atmosphere. So this is the aerobic condition, aerobic condition. In aerobic condition, so this bacteria or any other living organism. So fixation of this in the presence of light, the photosynthesis. Are you heard about this? Equation, Amma? Photosynthesis equation.
Yes, sir.
So actual photosynthesis equation is here. That is the common equation. Actually, 6CO2 plus 12H2O, H2O. In the presence of light, the chlorophyll pigments or chloroplast is able to modify this simpler form to C6H12O6. This is nothing but carbohydrate or glucose, nothing but glucose or carbohydrate. Along with this is the main product, and byproduct is oxygen, that is 6O2, and along with this 6H2O is produced. This is the photosynthetic equation. 6CO2 12H2 plus 12H2O. In the presence of light, this chloroplast is able to modify or complex form, that is produced, that is glucose or carbohydrate, and 6O2 and 6H2O. So this is the main formula of the this is the important formula of the photosynthesis. And my dear friends, here the electrons for photosystem 1 comes from photosystem 2, which involve oxygen splitting of water. But in anaerobic condition, so this is aerobic condition. How this oxygen came from? This oxygen came from carbohydrate or water. This oxygen, the normal oxygen, the oxygen came from carbohydrate or oxygen or water molecule.
Water.
Water molecule, my dear friends. So our oxygen gas is released from not carbon dioxide, only water, my dear friends. So this is in aerobic condition. This is in aerobic conditions. Now our green plants are modified for simpler molecules into form complex molecules. But in anaerobic conditions, some of the bacteria, some of the photosynthetic bacteria able to synthesize food material. See here, this is hydrogen sulfide. So sulfur bacteria, Beggiota is the best example of sulfur bacteria, Beggiota is the bacteria, that is sulfur bacteria, is able to fixation of the food material. This food material carbohydrates comes from carbon dioxide. Here this hydrogen sulfide used for energy. Hydrogen sulfide is used for energy. So there are no oxygen is evolved here. There is no oxygen is evolved here. Only sulfur is evolved here. So this bacteria, the electron donors of this reaction. So hydrogen sulfide is the electron donor. So here does not produce oxygen. Why? Because there is no water molecule here. No, there are no water molecule. Only hydrogen sulfide is here. Hydrogen sulfide. So electron donors are hydrogen sulfide. That's why the complex molecule carbohydrate is synthesized and sulfur is released. So here what we observed, without water, there is no oxygen is evolved. So oxygen is evolved from water molecule only in the process of photosynthesis. So what is the advantage of the cyanobacteria, my dear friends? What is the advantage of cyanobacteria? The cyanobacteria can live in anaerobic condition and aerobic conditions also, my dear friends. So fluctuating both the environment is suitable for growing of this blue-green algae. Okay. So presence of light, even though without light or without oxygen or anaerobic conditions, these blue-green algae can grow. So that's why our blue-green algae can able to grow like endophytic forms. Some of the Anthoceras, some of the Bryophyta members, Anthoceras is also having this endophytic nostoc living organism inside the Anthoceras. Here, these some of the cytotoxins also released by this cyanobacteria, my dear friends. Some of the cytotoxins are neurotoxins. Some of the cyanotoxins are hepatotoxins. Hepato means livers. Neuro means nervous system. You know, neurology. The study of neurons. The study of neurons we can call as neurology. The toxins are affected of the nervous system. We can call as neurotoxins. So these poisonous toxins are released from cyanobacteria. So these two toxins, cyanotoxins, are neurotoxins and hepatotoxins. The neurotoxins are blood neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitter. Are you heard about the neurotransmitter? Acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is one of the neurotransmitter that is helpful for the nerve impulse. So nerve impulse based on the neurotransmitter, you know. So this is neurotoxins are block the neurotransmission. So along with this muscle conditions also, muscles also. This Anabina and Oscillatoria is responsible for the release of these neurotoxins. So these neurotoxins are very harmful to our nervous system. And the second toxin, cyanotoxins, are hepatotoxins. These hepatotoxins are inhibit the protein phosphatase, cause liver bleeding inside the liver. So this is very, very important. Whenever we are drinking of the blue-green algae related water or foul water, this water can affect the liver. By these hepatotoxins inside inhibit the protein phosphatase, and this protein phosphatase, without protein phosphatase, the liver is going to bleeding inside the bleeding. That is caused by Anabina and Oscillatoria and nostoc. These are the three type study we have. Tomorrow we will going to discuss about nostoc, and day after tomorrow we will discuss about Anabina, and afterwards Oscillatoria. These are the three type study we will discuss later. And some of the swimmers also facing itch, you know, that is nothing but that is the surface of the skin is going to zigzag manner, you know. So the dry skin also we are observed on the swimmers. So swimmers itch also responsible for the blue-green alga, that is Lyngbya. Lyngbya is a blue-green alga which is responsible for the swimmer's itch. Okay. And what is the movement of this cell, Sama? What is the movement we are observed in this blue-green algae? Actually, the living organism does not contain any flagella or cilia or any other motile parts. So that's why there is no movement we are observed in this blue-green algae. But by the help of this mucilage sheath or trichome of this X-rated mucilage, which induce jet propulsion or gliding movements or slippery movements or looping movements, jet propulsion or gliding movements or looping movements also we are observed in this blue-green algae. And some of the blue-green alga members, trichome, is also in circular in a helix model. This helix also fibers send waves. So waves movements also we are observed in this blue-green algae. Waves of contraction, waves of the contraction. Then spirulina. Spirulina is a filamentous form, which is also known as common, which is spirulina we are observed in the freshwater algae are common in lakes with pH, high pH. High pH means alkaline in nature. The major food for flaming population, flamingo population. Are you heard about the term flamingo? Flamingos are the birds, you know. Birds. Flamingos are the white birds we are observed on oceanic or lakes. We are observed. The flamingos are the very beak is very large beak we are observed, and the white wings are there. The flamingos, the major food for the flamingos are the spirulina, and also this spirulina used as a commercial source for used as a single cell protein in the medicinal field. Single cell proteins also. And anabina, we looks here. This slide is visible. Shows about anabina with heterocyst. This anabina heterocyst, along with this heterocyst, the anabina filament, the 10 micron length, and common forming of the blooms. Blooms are the surface of the lakes or surface of the pond water. The blooms are scum, pond scum we are observed on the surface of the water. So that is very common feature we identified, whether the nostoc or anabina present in that blooms, water blooms. Okay, then this is a Lingboia martinsiana. This Lingboia released some of the chemicals whenever we touch the blue-green alga thallus. Then automatically our skin is going to facing some of the rupturing skin we are observed, that is dermatitis. So that is one type of skin disease, you know, dermatitis. The study of skin we can call as dermatology. So dermatitis, it is a disease, the ruptured skin we are observed on the surface of the skin caused by this Lingboia. So that's why this Lingboia we can also call as swimmer's itch, caused by swimmer's itch. Then reproduction. So in our blue-green algae does not show any sexual reproduction. Only asexual reproduction or vegetative reproduction we are observed in blue-green algae by the Harmogonia formation, by the endosperm formation or acanite formation, by the help of fragmentation, and some of the living organism blue-green algae produce exospores also. Exospores, endospores, acinites, or fragmentation. With the help of fragmentation and Harmogonia, asexual reproduction takes place. This by the asexual reproduction, the first Harmogonia. So Harmogonia is nothing but a short piece of trichome found in a filament. It is detaches from the parent filament. Each fragment or each filament grown or gives the complete structure of the thallus of the different organisms related to blue-green algae. So here we observe this is the this is the actual filament in trichome. This filament, whenever the detachment of the middle cell, then whenever detached from the parent cell, though each piece can able to grow and give complete thallus of the anabina, nostoc, oscillatoria, Lingboia, spirulina, whatever it may be, a different living organism by this Harmogonia. This oscillatoria with Harmogonia we are observed here. This slide shows about the Harmogonia, how detached from the cells and gives the complete thallus of the oscillatoria. And this is oscillatoria, detachment from parents trichome or parent filament, and each piece can grow the complete thallus. Then asexual reproduction through akinete. The earlier slide shows Harmogonia and akinete. Akinete is a thick-walled cell, and it is compared to other cells are large cell, and it is surrounded on the thick wall surface. Whenever the unfavorable conditions are occurred or favorable conditions are not there, then the vegetative cells can able to produce the thick wall around the cell, and it is shows in larger. It is a larger size, and whenever favorable conditions are occurred, then akinete can grow or germinate the complete thallus of the different organism, different blue-green alga. So this is the akinete cell. Oh, this is surrounded on thick wall on the cell wall. Thick cell wall is present, and inside the cytoplasm is able to give the complete thallus whenever the favorable conditions are occurred. So this is the main function of this akinete is to protecting from the unfavorable conditions, or resistance from the unfavorable conditions. Whenever favorable conditions are occur, then this akinete can give the complete thallus of the organism. Then asexual reproduction through fragmentation. Fragmentation means the small pieces. The filament, the parent filament break down into two pieces. Each piece can able to grow and able to give the complete thallus of the organism, whether the Anabaena, Oscillatoria, or Nostoc. Okay, so this is fragmentation. Then old fossils. So the old fossils also we are observed related to our blue-green alga. Then 3.5 billion years ago, that in the old Carboniferous or Carbonaceous microfossils observed in South Africa, and 3.4 billion old filaments and microbial fossils observed in Western Australia. And at the same time, 3.4 billion years ago, the old Stromatolites observed in South Africa and Australia. The old fossils also related to our blue-green alga. So that's why blue-green alga termed as a very primitive algae or very first alga. So this is about our Cyanophyceae or blue-green algae general characteristic features, my dear friends. Okay, tomorrow we will going to discuss about the type study related to Nostoc, and the second type study, that is Anabaena. The third type study, that is Oscillatoria. Okay, this is about general characteristic features of blue-green alga. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? Please ask me, I will clarify. Is there any doubt? Please ask me, I will